Hello, Kristen Forster here. I'm hoping to pique your interest and possibly even solicit your participation in a new teaching programme which I'll be releasing locally, which for me is the Wokingham area, from May time, or in central London after September. The teaching program is called Jesus, A Life in History. It's the culmination of quite a few years, and some of you will have been to things I've done in the past. I've produced kind of great big manuals that cover different sections of Jesus' life, as you might remember. The program has now moved to a totally new stage in terms of technical support. So what we're going to do in Jesus, A Life in History is tell over a series of weeks, based month apart at a time, the whole story of Jesus' life, but kind of as an adventure story supported by secular history, and at the same time integrating every word from all four Gospels in a single narrative that illustrates and highlights how what a consistent and self-supporting and integrated story the story of Jesus is. Paul talks about Jesus who comes at the fullness of time, and actually it's putting that story into its context. We just see how significant it is, the events that Jesus kind of ripples out from that moment in history as the world is kind of coming together in a way that changes it and the future going forward. So anyway, I best to kind of try and stay on target and just say, if you would like, if you're just interested in participating in this program, we'd love you to register, just so that you can show your interest. And in particular, those who would like to take part in the Wokingham, the local event. Wokingham is at a great location. It's kind of right near the M25, the M4. You can drive down from the M40, there's a cut through from there, and the M3 on the other side. So it's a really good access point for quite a distance. Once a month on a Saturday for a couple of hours, we'll look at the different sections and segments of Jesus' life, telling a story that even if you're a new Christian, you can understand the story, but supported with notes that go right the way down to the source of every word within that story, so that for those who are more sophisticated biblical readers, if you want to, you can go and track down some of what we're going to show you and illustrate to you. In the way that the story unfolds, that's a better way of putting it, unfolds, you'll be able to actually trace it and see the truth of how those things fit together. And part of the reason I wanted to do it is so often people, they know the teaching of Jesus, but as standalone verses, but to see it in its context and its flow is one thing. But equally, to see how the four Gospels can actually fit together beautifully. There's not the contradictions that so often you will hear people saying there are. And that's really demonstrated when you see all of the Gospels integrated into a single continuous text. So I would love to see you there. The teaching I'm doing, as always, is free to attend, although we are always reliant on gifts that are made by those who value what they get. And so we would encourage you to do that. And also you'll be able to buy the notes as they come along. We have to do that because they'll be physical, but actually they're also a great value and great use. So you can make notes on the day, but you take away the source material, including the text, which, as I said, will go right the way down to Strong's numbers, so you can trace them back as we draw the four stories together and integrate it and harmonize it with secular history and give you the sources from people like Josephus, Tacitus, and others, secular historians, to see what's going on in the world and how that makes sense of the gospel that is dropped in like a rock and creates ripples that run through history forwards and backwards in a way that makes sense of it all. So I'm looking forward to seeing folks there. Please register your interest by clicking the links in this email, and hopefully I'll see some of you from May onwards and others maybe after September. Bye then.